Good Wednesday afternoon. How is everybody today? I hope everyone is doing great. I did not sleep at all last night. I tried to fall asleep, but I could not. Just so much energy that is trapped in a little human body. Hi, Tina. And, just trying to get a lot accomplished, a lot done. I had a doctor's visit yesterday to continue on my hormone therapy for menopause, and as a healthcare professional, I can tell you what a nightmare that was. And my gal who I see, physician assistant, I haven't seen her in a year, and she refused to refill my medications without seeing her. So of course I agree, but that's just another visit that I have to pay for. And so I get there and let her know why I was there, to refill medications. We've been treating my menopause, and I am post hysterectomy from 2018. So I had been in perimenopause and then medically induced menopause, but didn't start getting hormone treatments or therapies until last year, when all of the symptoms and things that I was having, I was contributing to other things, and no one even talked about menopause. Hot flashes, brain fog, joint pain, sore, stiff muscles from working out. It was making it impossible to work out. Severe leg cramps, inflammation, dry eyes. I thought I was pre-diabetic. My cholesterol is high. Just all these factors, and then doing research, it is all menopause related. So anyway, I go into the doctor. Hi, Rosa. Hi, Tina. I go into the doctor, and not only do I have to pay for the visit, and then she wanted to do blood tests. Well, let's do a little education on hormones and blood tests. There is no blood test that can tell you that you're in menopause. So they cannot force you to take a blood test. However, I was shocked that my provider refused to renew my prescriptions without getting a quote baseline. And I told her, well, there is no baseline, because hormones fluctuate, time of day, time of week, time of month. The only true test is a spit test every hour or every 2 hours in a 24-hour period. So those labs are not covered under insurance, and so that's $500. So she refused to refill my prescription without that blood test. So I negotiated with her, and I said, well, that puts me in a financial hardship, and I don't agree that you need a baseline, considering that you've seen me for a year, and my baseline is when you started seeing me and prescribing. But what we will do is we'll count this as a wellness visit, and you can do a CBC panel and regular blood test, but not thyroid. But you can't deny me my medication for treatment for that time. So I agreed to come back in 90 days to do that blood work for hormone testing after you put me back on my medication. So she did refill my prescriptions for 90 days, which I'm not going back to her. So I will find a different provider, one who is qualified, specialized in hormone therapy for women, which is really hard in Nebraska, a menopause specialist. But I'll be doing that, and I found out that the VA will cover my medications at a much lower cost. So I will be transferring my medication refill prescriptions to the VA. So all that being said, as women, why do we have to fight so hard? As a healthcare professional, I have access to the same studies, research, and if you're going by an archaic study that has since been disproven that hormone therapy increases risk of heart disease and breast cancer, that has been disproven. The testing on the range was women that were in an age range that were already predisposed to those conditions. And so getting current on the new medical evidence that estrogen actually helps prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, increases bone density, just all the things. And I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol, I don't have any blood clotting risks, I don't have any factors that would say that, hey, we've got to be cautious, to proceed with caution. So anyway, that was very frustrating. And it's a mission of mine to educate women on their health. So that is just what's going on today. So I have all this energy and I couldn't sleep. I'm also, they cut at Nebraska Medicine. We are a leading medical doctor, nurse, allied health field education system. A lot of things like heart transplants and those things were created in the 80s, 90s, and even before that. A lot of you probably remember Dr. Ornish. But anyway, from Nebraska Medicine, and that funding, Department of Education, has been cut, and then they cut our research funding for at the end of 2025. So Nebraska Medicine is doing the best they can to still provide quality health care, still educate the next nurses and doctors. So what that is being said is that I have been put on casual status. So I only get to work 1 day a week. So when you go from working 4 or 5 days a week to 1 day a week, that's a huge hit in your budget. So let's put that in perspective. I work 4 days a week, or 4 days a month. So I don't know how many of you can do that. And then I'm trying to run and fund my own small business. So lots of things, you know, you do all the work as practitioners. You know, don't worry about things, but also magic without movement is just wishing. And so we have to manifest, and then we manifest and then action. And so anyway, I have an interview Thursday at 9 a.m. going back to the old hospital system that I was at. That would put me back at a full-time position. But we've got to do what we've got to do, right? So that being said, I was actually very drawn to, and I've been called into Medusa energy and women, and actually Medusa and Persephone. And to me, they are very empowering icons. Hi, Cynthia. That we are not victims. So I think that Persephone, history is taking away the choice that she made. She chose a side that society would have said was, you don't deserve pleasure, you don't deserve to love who you want to love, even if it's dark. So I don't see her as a victim, I see her as very empowered. And Medusa had her choices taken away from her, and then society punished her for that. And then, you know, and then she ended up being murdered. So I thought, gosh, both of those energies I'm really working with today. So after I finish, I'm going to pull some cards from the Siren Oracle. But after I do that, I'm actually going to be working on 2 original paintings, just like the one I have back here. I did this one last year when I was working with Mary energy. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's a representation again of the divine feminine, and that our hearts, minds, brains, all of those things are divine. But a lot of times the heart is actually bleeding and dripping garnets, and there's rubies in the heart. I have gold leaf, angel wings, all those things to protect divine energy that had been under attack. So the bleeding heart and protecting from divine energy as we went into 2025, which I think is positive and changing. So that being said, I'm going to be in my art studio, which my whole downstairs is my art studio. So my poor husband, he gets a bedroom and a living room. I have taken over the 2 empty rooms since my adult children are gone. And one is my personal dressing room, and where I was doing personal readings and for myself and for others in there. But then I wanted to keep that space just wholly sacred for myself. And then in this space, this is a magical divine space that I hold for everyone that comes in. It's to me, it's just divine perfection. Everything, all the symbols, all the things that hold this space and the energy clear in here. It's just an amazing space to work from. So again, kind of taking over, but my husband really doesn't mind. So anyway, if you all are ready, before I go downstairs and work on some original pieces of art, and when I channel art, it's really funny. I can usually finish a piece in a day. I don't know if that's just being Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, that you set a task for me and I have to complete it, or if it's just raw channeled talent. But I've channeled 2 images, and these will be mixed media, and I'm going to be doing a Medusa and a Persephone painting, and see what we come up with today. So today I'm gonna pull a card, and I want to thank everyone for being here, and I hope this message finds you well today, and thank you so much. I mentioned on Facebook the other day that I had 15 decks left of Sirens, which is the deck I'm pulling from today, and I think I only have 10 after yesterday. So I thank everyone for the support. And again, I'm funding this myself as an independent artist, and these decks are a labor of love, and I really hope that you enjoy it. So this is our card for today. And isn't she gorgeous? And she is holding a black pearl and a white pearl in her hand. So kind of representing the sacred balance. And isn't that funny? That kind of goes on to our theme today. So, Siren of the Pearl Tides. In the hush of the hidden deep, where silence sings and shadows sleep, I am the pearl the dark has spun, a secret shaped by moon and sun. So secret, masculine, feminine, isn't that cool? Crushed by tides yet shining whole, I am the treasure of your soul. Rise through sorrow, gleam through pain. The deeper the wound, the brighter the flame. Wow, if that's not Medusa energy right there, right? Wasn't she an amazing, I don't know. I mean, she was the daughter of a Titan, so, but she was human and her sisters were not. And she ended up becoming a Titan after Athena. How dare you get violated in my temple from Poseidon. So, but if that isn't really Medusa energy, that the deeper the wound, the brighter the pearl that comes from that. So I hope you all find that message endearing today. And for those of you that will be receiving your decks, I would love if we could start community card pulls. It doesn't even have to be from my deck. If you feel called, this is your space, not Melanie's space, it's our space. All of us goddesses and gods, and we need to raise our voices and share the messages. So if you could, if you feel called, pull cards, whether it be from my deck or your deck. Tarot is really hard for me because I am a true rebel, and although I really respect that there is you know, this is what it means. This is how, you know, reversing this. I am visually oriented. In a past life, a lot of you have read my Rebellious Oracle that's coming out. I had a past life reading and found out that I was an Oracle of Delphi, or I was supposed to be, but I questioned, why are prophetic prophecies so cryptic? Why can't we just see clear signs, get clear messages? And why was it just for wealthy who could pay, where the messages should be for everyone? So because I was rebellious, was kicked out of the temple, but I was still gifted. And so I am a rebel that way. So although I think tarot is great, what I do is I see the images and I read the meaning of that in that moment. So if anyone has the true gift of tarot reading, go ahead and post tarot here. I'm more of an oracle, and so when I interpret things based on the visions that I see in that moment, and not necessarily what the cards are saying it has to be. That this, you know, oh, the Tower card. Well, you know what? Castles also are made of towers, and yes, things can crumble, but things can also get built. And the Fool, I mean, sometimes isn't ignorance bliss? I mean, how happy are children? And then they lose their innocence because the world says, oh, hey, you know, this stuff really happens in the world. So, you know, yeah, there's the Fool and it's a leap of faith, but isn't ignorance sometimes bliss? And weren't we sometimes the happiest when we were kids and we didn't know any better? So I'm just a rebel that way. So everyone to their own interpretations. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Please, 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 if you could, help me spread the word. Invite friends to this group that you think align with our mission. And if you could like, share, comment on these posts so more people can see them, I would really appreciate it. And so much love to everyone today. It's Wednesday. I started this just a little after 2:22, so that's our sign there. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and blessings to all of you. And I'm going to read the message one more time because I just feel like it has to be shared, and that way you can take screenshots if you want to as well. But let's say this louder to those in the back. Siren of the pearl tides, in the hush of the hidden deep, where silence sings and shadows sleep, I am the pearl the dark has spun, a secret shaped by moon and sun. Crushed by tides yet shining whole, I am the treasure of your soul. Rise through sorrow, gleam through pain. The deeper the wound, the brighter the flame. I hope that means something to you guys as much as I had. The words just flowed out when I created these cards, and I still get emotional, especially in the Sirens deck, because it is such a flowing water. So, hi Angela, I want to thank you, girl. This deck is coming to you. Thank you for your order today. It actually got dropped off at UPS before I started this live, so it is on its way to you. And if you would do us a favor, I know so many of you have the cards. Please post a reading for everyone if you feel called. I know they can be intimate and personal, but if you'd like to pull a card and post in this group for everyone, let's do that. Let's share with each other. So anyway, thank you all so much. I love you, and have a beautiful day, okay? Bye guys.